Let's go back to the last one and do the domain and range. Thank you. So, domain x can't equal 1, but x is everything else. And the range, y is everything. Goes up forever, down forever. Perfect. Example number 4. Factor to start.
I don't know, why'd you have to call me out like that? Man, I really just wish I was as perfect as you.
So we factor the bottom as the difference of squares. And this cancels out perfectly. What does this simplify to? Here is a common mistake. It's 1 over x minus 3. Sometimes people cancel things out and say, oh, there's only x minus 3 left, so they just write x minus 3. But the x minus 3 is in our denominator. It has to stay in our denominator. There's nothing left in our numerator. That doesn't mean we write nothing. Simplifying is equal to 1. There are some math teachers that hate the word cancel out. Because cancel out implies that nothing is left, that there should be a 0 left. So they'll say we should always use the word simplifies. It simplifies because then it becomes 1 over 1, and that would leave a 1 on top. I don't mind. Something feeling good about canceling and crashing. Let out some of that pent-up anger that you have. And so we have 1 over x minus 3. Well, do we have non-permissible values in this question? Yes, we do. We have non-permissible values. X can't equal negative 3 and x can't equal 3. We have to make sure that we include this one that cancels out. And so in step number 1, do we have holes or vertical asymptotes? The answer is yes.
All right, I'm just going yes.
One of them is going to be a hole because it cancels out, so we're going to have a hole at minus 3 comma something. And the other one that stays is going to be a vertical asymptote at x equals 3. We have both. Where is our hole? Negative 3. One over negative 6. How do we find where the y-coordinate of our hole is? We plug in negative 3 into our simplified equation. And now we have to graph our simplified equation. But when graphing our simplified equation, it's not just a line. Every question we've had up till now with a hole has ended up being a line, and then it was just like, oh, I'll graph that line. But what we have is we still have a rational equation. We need to graph y equals 1 over x minus 3. So we have to follow the steps. We've got our vertical asymptotes and holes. Number 2, will that have an oblique asymptote or a horizontal asymptote? And now we're looking at the simplified equation. It's going to have a horizontal asymptote. The degree is larger in the denominator. Every time it's larger in the denominator, you'll have a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. Step 3, y-intercepts and x-intercepts. Always start with the y-intercept because it's the easiest. If I plug in 0 for x, what will I get? 1 over negative 3. That will be our y-intercept. X-intercept. If you plug in 0 for y, when is a fraction equal to 0? When the numerator is equal to 0. Is the numerator ever equal to 0? There are none. So we start graphing with everything that we have so far. We may need more points, but we can only find that out by drawing the beginning of our graph. We have a vertical asymptote at x equals 3. We have a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. We have a hole at -3, -1/6. Draw our hole in, and we have a y-intercept at -1/3. So we have enough to finish this section. The hole is going to get joined to that point, and then it would have to go down towards the asymptote and approach the asymptote in this direction. But we don't have anything to the right of x equals 3. So in step 3, we will need another point. Let's plug in x equals 4. Go back up to our new simplified equation. If I plug in x equals 4, I will get 1 on top. 4 minus 3 is 1 on the bottom. 1 over 1 is 1. 4 comma 1. And once you have that point, you have enough to draw it towards the asymptotes. Oh, probably have to do domain and range. Domain. X can't equal 3. And the range would be everything. Right, except for the hole. Thank you. The range would be everything, but y can't equal -1/6. And 0. Yeah, and we should. I think the fact that the screen is frozen right now is kind of throwing me off. So the domain, x can't equal 3 and x can't equal -3. Those are both of our non-permissible values in our domain. And our, no, didn't work. Our range, y can't equal 0 and y can't equal -1/6. All right? So, since the computer is frozen, I guess I cannot assign you any more homework questions.